Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, your sponsor, Nishma Saim Yakashom Lava Sitzchok. We're holding Metzia Daf Samber Zayin. So we're starting the Samach Vomud base, the last two words. It's really just to end the previous sugya. The Gemara brought this idea of the Mechila Betos. If someone makes a Mechila by mistake, is that a problem or not? Meaning, do we say that a Mechila that was done under the wrong pretext, person thought that this sale was a good sale. So he allowed. He said, okay, the mechir is good. And then what happens is that the person who bought it, the kinyan that happened, he goes and he eats fruits. Is that going to be good or not? So Gemara said that this is the more broad discussion regarding that. So what we saw, Rav Nachman says that we saw the mechila betos lo have a mechila. It's not a mechila. So Omer we have some Zayin Dav on top. Have a Yasfino Kamid Rav Nachman. It was in front of Rav Nachman. Ubay Lasuve Oino. I wanted to ask him a question, but from Oino. I want to say, you see in Oino, the Mechila Betos is not a good Mechila. Because when a person does Oino, what happens? He's overpaying or underselling something, and for that he's getting back a payment. But he saw that I'm about to ask the question, and he said, Chazis and Ailonis, what about Ailonis? And the Gemara is going to explain what the answer was. There's a mechila by mistake. He has to give it back. So it's not a good mechila. He was medacting them to do it. He says, Chazis and Ailonis, do you see Ailonis? Ailonis is the mechila betosi. Ailonis is also mechila, as we'll see in a moment. Mechila works. What's the case of Ailonis? The Tan. Hamamenis is a girl who her mother or brothers married her, and she is able to leave if she decides she is not interested with the marriage, because not a marriage d'oraisa. Ve'ashliya, someone who's also to marry nami d'oraisa only d'rabbanan. Ve'ailonis, which is a mekarto, is not a good marriage. Eilem lo ksuva, they don't have ksuva, they don't get ksuva. Ve'lo peiros, meaning the fruits. If the husband eats the fruits, he doesn't have to pay it back, and he doesn't have to redeem her, as Rashi says. The loy mizoyis, he doesn't have to feed her. The loy blois. Rashi learns loy blois means that if he took away her clothes, he doesn't have to give it back. Taisus discusses he wants to say it depends that if it's still there, he doesn't give it back. If not. But the point is, this marriage is not a good marriage, and he knows it's not a good marriage, and still the fruits that the husband ate, he doesn't have to give back. Why? They thought it was a good marriage. They found that it wasn't. They found out it was a mekartos. Still, the fruits that he ate, does have to give it back. Some of Eloi. That's not true. Loi no avet yuvte, v'loi ailonis v'se'ali. Don't bring a raya now from, both are not good rayas, not here, not there. Loi no avet yuvte, the loi yodo, the isai no, the mochi gabe. But he doesn't know. He doesn't know, right? He made a mistake. He thought this was worth less. And he gave more, he thought this was worth more, and he paid more. He didn't know it was worth less. So it was a mistake. By us, talk about that he agreed to the mechira, he agreed to the sale. We tell you, you should know the sale, Medini Toyva did not work. For example, the case that we had is a person buys something that did not come yet to the world. But he agreed to the sale. There, he made a mistake. So that's why he can't bring a right from Oino to the sale. So the items of sale, he can't bring a right from Ailis. The Nichalo, the Tepuk, Alo Shmo, the issues. There, even though she knows that the marriage is not a good marriage, she wants the marriage to work. Even though you find out that this marriage is void. But in the meantime, there are people who are going to come around and say, oh, she's a married woman. So she's happy with that shame issues that she gets, and therefore she's willing to be moichel. Mashenk in a regular case, when you find out the sale is not a sale, the mechil is not a good mechil. So that concluded that sugya. And now we're going into another sugya of this daf. And this is, this daf is complex. We're going to talk about complex inyanim. We're going to try as much as possible to stick to Shittas Rashi, because there's so many Shittas in the Rishonim to understand the halachos of this daf. And I think if we stick to Shittas Rashi, we'll understand pretty clearly what's going on in the daf. So let's see. Says the Gemara. Maybe just to give a small preview of what we're going to be talking about. We have the issue, the story, the problem that we're going to talk about is a person gives money to somebody else. Reuben lends money to Shimon. Shimon gives him a land. And then Shimon goes back and redeems the land and gives it back the money, takes back the land. If Reuben is eating fruits, here's where you get to a problem of ribbis. Why? Because Reuben gave money to Shimon. Shimon gives the money back to Reuben, so you have your loan. In addition to the money that he's getting, Reuben is also eating fruits. So you have an additional interest that he's eating. That's where the issue of, that's called mashkanta. And now the Gemara is going to discuss, do we have solutions how a person can do that and eat fruits and it will be fine? Let's see different scenarios the Gemara is going to talk about in this daf. So there was this woman. She told this person, Zil zovenli ori mikrivai. She said, I want you to buy a land for my relative. I have a relative and he's selling his land. Please go buy it from him. Also, zovenli, he went and he bought it. So the seller tells the shliach who's buying on behalf of the isha, so if I have money, I want to be able to redeem it and get it back. So I'm selling it to her. She's giving me the money and I'm giving the land. But I want to have the option, the ability to come and take it back. You and this woman are relatives. In other words, you deal with it with her. Rashi says, what's Navlo over here? Either her name was Navlo, or the Navlo means her. Right? You and her. So either the word Navlo means her, or Navlo, that was her name. So when the shliach tells the seller says, I want to be able to redeem it. He says, listen, she's your relative. Want to redeem it? No problem. Deal with her. That's what he said. Right? Whatever you have, whenever you say that sentence, they take it takes away the word Omar. Somcha daito v'loy gomer umakne v'loy gomer makne. In other words, there's a smichus das. What is the smichus das over here? That the seller has in mind, I'm not really selling the land. I'm giving it to her as a temporary hold. She gave me money. I need the money. She'll hold on to the land, but I can always go come and redeem it. The fact that the shliach said you are her relatives means relatives, and therefore it's going to work. Aro hadra. So therefore, he can force the isha to return back the land. Pirimai. What about the fruits? Now here we're going back to the case I mentioned before. Right? The isha gave money for the land. The seller goes back and redeems the land. In the meantime, his isha is eating fruits. Isn't that's ribbis? She got money back and she's eating the fruits. Mine. Ribis ktsutsu avu v'yoytzu b'dayonim. Is there ribis ktsutsu? Is it a mamish or ribis? Is mamish considered to be like interest? And it's a ribis deraisa that judges can come and take out? Or dilmo ki avak ribis avu ve'in yoytzu. Or maybe it's not a real ribis. It's only ribis derabanon and it's not yoytzu. That's what he asked. Amar Abba Avuno mistabra makes sense. Ki avak ribisu ve'in yoytzu b'dayonim. It's not a real ribis. And it doesn't go up with the yon. Right? Now, so this is a case. In this case, it's considered to be Avak Ribis and Ein Yoytzu B'dayon. Now, just to mention over here right away that as the Vilna Gaon points out, the way he argues, so this Gemara, that's how the Rashi learns, that's how the Shulchan Aruch brings. The Rambam learns that he concludes the opposite, that this sentence, you and her are relatives, is not something of smichus das. Okay, but according to Rashi, according to our Gemara, this is smichus das, and the question is who eats the fruits. In this case right now, this was started as a sale. The Isha wanted to buy a land. The seller says, no, I want to be able to get it back. So you say, don't eat fruits. Why do you eat fruits? Because it looks like a loan. It's not mamish a loan, it was really more of a sale. So the parents here consider to be avak ribis, they're not ribis mamish, you don't take it out. Says the Gemara, that was a sale. What about a mashkanto? What is a mashkanto? We talk about a loan. and someone gave a collateral. In this case, she came to buy the field. But let's say a person comes and lends money, and he gives him a collateral. Will it be the same? What is the main reason why this is not ribis? Because there's no ktitzo. What does it mean there's no ktitzo? That he didn't come and say, I'm going to give it to you in a certain amount of money. They said, when I have money, I'll redeem it. There's no specific amount. When she decides afterwards to give it back to him, or even if he could force it, it's a new transaction. Says Rashi, we learned in yesterday's daf, that Rav Nachman says that when we do such a thing, you have to give back the fruits. This one holds differently. Or maybe no. The only reason I'm allowing it by the relative, that's considered, meaning I'm not allowing, I'm saying it's only avak ribis, not a ribis deraisa, because there was a sale. It wasn't a loan. The Isha came to the man and says, I want to buy your land. He says, no problem, I'll sell it to you. I want to be able to redeem it. So because it's a sale, the fruits that she eats, is not considered to be a ribis deraisa. But if you're doing it as a loan, Reuben comes, the story that I told you before. Reuben lent money to Shimon. And Shimon gives him a land as collateral. If Reuben eats the fruits, that's ribis, because that's mamash alone. Is it because it's not kat, it's not a specific amount, and then it works all cases, or because it's a sale, not a loan? So he answered him. No, he holds there's no problem at all. Not even though he did it here as a loan. There's no difference in a loan or a sale, because the money is not set. That I'm giving it to you for 100, you can take it for 120. Something we'll debate later in terms of the sale. So therefore, it's something which is not ribis. Says the Gemara, Omar Rababi, Obad Ravina Uvdo, Ravina had a story, V'choshiv, V'ovik Piri. Ravina said, no. These fruits is ribis. You have to take it out. You're able to redeem it? You have to take it out. Udeloi Kirab Avuno, not like Rabba Avuno, that said that it's Abba Ribis Vein Yoitzabadeyan, we just learned. So in this case, that the woman bought the land and she is able to eat the fruits. If the seller comes and redeems it, you have to give back the fruits that you ate. It's considered to be mamash ribis. That's what it was. More really basically establishing your machlekes is the idea of mashkanta problem of ribis or not, and more brings a machlekes right there. Rabbi Avuno hold either mashkanta or at least the case of a sale, and Rabbi Avuno says not, and more seems to say Ravina says it is. The big problem here with Ravino, which this is one of the big discussions in this daf, is that we learned in Daf Samech Beis, as Tracy points out over here, we learned, the Gemara there brought a list of things. The Gemara said, there's things that by Goyim, they don't extract the money, and we don't take out the fruits. And the Gemara brought an example of Mashkanta. Mashkanta b'loy nechiyasa. That's our case. What's Mashkanta b'loy nechiyasa? A mashkanto that you don't take a reduction, as we'll see in a moment, with the fruits. And Ravina said over there, the same Ravina, said that it's considered to be avak ribis that you don't take out. And here he says mamash ribis. So the Chora stira between this Gemara and Daf Samech Zayin to 5 days ago that we said that it's us, that it's only Darabana. That's the question that all the Rishonim discuss. And there's several answers. One answer is there's two Ravinas. Two different Ravinas. That's how Terz Ravina Peret says that there's two Ravinas, and with the Ravina over there is not Ravina over here. The Rashba says that Rashi is answering it, because Rashi says that it depends which item we're talking about. A vineyard, Rashi says over there that we're talking about vineyards. Vineyards many times get destroyed. So therefore, when you take the fruits, it's considered to be something which is not for sure, it's not considered to be ribis. But if you talk about a house, or you talk about a chutzner, which it doesn't get destroyed, you're renting it out, you're making money out of it, so then the fruits, the benefits, considered to be ribis, even in our case. That's how the Rashba learns in Rashi. And the Tosfos wants to say there's nothing to do with ribis. It has to do here with mechila betos. Going back to the sug that we start with the daf with. Is it mechila b'tos or not? Chayes points out over here that the reason I take out it's not really ribis. The problem is it's a mechila b'tos, not a mechila. So the whole transaction was a mistake. That's the reason. In the case that we talk about in the Tzemach base, it wasn't mechila b'tos. He didn't know that the mechira is not a mechira. So different ways how that we should even answer this question. But at least what we're coming down here is we see that at least from our Gemara and Mechlekes, in this case, is these periods considered to be a problem of ribis or not? Says the Gemara now. So Mar B'Rei Davisa said the name of Rov. Hai Mashkanto. This is a mashkin, the land that you take as collateral. Be'asro de misalke, in a place where you were able to kick him out, take it back. All shir zuze misalkinele. Meaning what? If the lender ate fruits. Now, let's go like this. The lender gave the borrower a loan of $1,000. He took a land. He starts eating the fruits. Just to make it easier for us to understand, every year he eats $200 of fruits. After 5 years, he eats $1,000. If the borrower is able to kick out the lender by paying him back, he says, I paid you back. How do you pay you back? With the fruits. The fruits that you're eating are my payback. I can give you back money, I can give you back fruits. You had my fruits. So that's good enough to kick him out. But if he eats more, why? It's not ribis. It's not ribis deraisa, it's only ribis derabbanan. So you don't you don't extract the fruits that he ate more than the value of the loan. In addition, another din, you don't take, if he ate more fruits, and let's say the lender has another loan on the borrower, so you don't say, 1 second, you ate, this loan is $1,000. I owe you another $200, you ate 6 years of fruits, so $1,000 for the first loan, $200 for the next loan. No, we don't say that. Why? Because you're doing that, and that's considered to be, as Rashi points out, as the Rishonim point out, you're basically extracting the fruits away from it. So what we're saying is, you don't extract fruits away from the lender if he eats the fruits. But as long as it belongs to this loan, I'm able to exchange the payment of this loan with the fruits that you ate up to the value of the loan. More than that is going to be the ribis that it's midrabanan that you don't take out. Ubedi asked me, we're talking about Yisraelim. Also, now by Yisraelim, Rashi explains what's special by Yisraelim. Beis Din by Yisraelim get very involved, and they take care of the Yisraelim, and therefore they get involved in the beginning of the transaction. Don't allow them to take anything. So therefore, if he ate the amount of the loan, so you take him out because he got paid. If he ate more, you take away from him these extra fruits, even though it's not a ribis deraisa you take out. But by Yisraelim is different. According to Rashi, the same idea. Basically, another way to take out the money from him is use the fruits that he ate to pay for another loan. If you look at Rashi, Rashi says, Rashi says, the next Rashi, the father Yisraelim, they are the ones in control. They didn't Michael. It's as if Bezin kicked him out from the beginning, he did it. So a regular person has the option to kick out the lender. You didn't kick out the lender, that's your problem. That means you're Michael. And because it's not ribis deraisa, you can't take it out. But Bezin, by Yisraelim, is different. So as long as he's eating the fruits, if I have the option to kick him out, so eating the fruits is a payment. Anything more is a gift. Says the Gemara, Omar Rashi, says Rashi 1 second. You're telling me that any fruits that he ate more than the value of the loan, you don't take away from it. Why? Because it's a ribis derabbanan that you can't extract. So he says, I disagree with the other statement. If he ate only the value of the loan, they'll take care of him. Without paying. My time is saluki afuki minehu. So what are you saying? He's saying, 1 second. If you're telling me that the fruits that the guy ate, you can use it for the loan, so you're basically taking away the fruits from it. The guy took the land. We're going back to the case we're talking about. Reuven lent money to Shimon. Shimon gave a land to Reuven. He wants to pay him back. Now, Reuven is eating the fruits, and he tells you, oh, whatever you eat, that's towards the law. So, in that sense, you're taking away the fruits from it. So the first one, though, understands that's part of the deal. The deal is that as long as you're enjoying the land, if it's still within the amount of the loan, so you're paying for the loan. More than that, it's amoichel. Rav says, no. Any fruits that you eat is considered to be the ribbis. The money that you have to pay is actual cash that you can't pay back. Whatever he eats, that's extra benefit that you don't take out from the lender. So that's the big machlokes over here in our Gemara. And do we say that's considered to be is that considered to be something that you can use the fruits towards the loan or not? Okay, says the Gemara. Says the Gemara now. Over the Rashi Uvdo B'Yisayim K'tanim Kegdolim. Rav Ashi went and did a Maaseh with Yisayim K'tanim, and he treated them like they were with a Samzayin based on top. What does it mean? It says Rashi Kegdolim. Even though he ate the amount of the zuzeh, you don't take him out. Meaning, not only the Rav Ashi treated it as like ribis, you can't pay it towards the loan, but even by Yisoimim, he said that you can't take it out. Even by Yisoimim, we said before by Yisoimim that you don't have a ribis, the Beis Din are going to come and fight it. He says no, even by Yisoimim K'tanim, this is considered to be it's considered to be okay. Says the Gemara now. Omar Rova Bredi Avir Shmei Rova. High mashkanto. Again, this collateral. Be'astrom de misalke loy nichul ela b'nechayos. So says Rova. Says Rova. There is a solution to these mashkantos. You know what it is? Nachayos. Now, we mentioned the concept of Nachayos before, but now is where we're getting into it. What does it mean, Nachayos? Nachayos means, let's say, Loshen Rashi. Benachayos, be'asu d'msag l'chel peres of Nachayos, that's the third line in Rashi. She'inakelu min ha'choyim dover kotzu l'shon. Tenir kemor churloi, ve'yori b'sofik. Afilu tilke v'lo yuba peiros, yinakel loy oiso ketzvo. Hilkat kishako min etfei lavribisu. What are you talking about? Rashi says, the way to do mashkanta is take a fixed amount out of the lender. Reuven gives Shimon a loan. Shimon gives Reuven a land. If Reuven eats fruits with no deduction of the loan, that's a problem of ribis. So what do? You deduct. What do? Not whatever he eats. You give a fixed amount. You say every year, $10 of the loan goes out. Why $10? Maybe the fruits will be worth more. Says Rashi, maybe they'll be worth less. I don't know how much the fruits will be this year. It may be worth more than $10, maybe worth less than $10. You give it a fixed amount. The fixed amount is, similar to what I was going to say later, it's almost like a sharecropper that are paying you something for this land, and I'm eating the fruits that come from it. Either I gain or I lose. That's why it's not ribis, because you're getting it for the money that you paid. So you give a fixed amount. But a Tamil should not do even with this discount. Says the Gemara, so how will, if a tzur wants to do that, what should he do? Says the Gemara, kitzuso. I think one can explain more what is kitzuso. Another way to value it. That's good. It says kitzuso works. And on the kitzuso asir, they hold kitzuso doesn't work. Ma'ikel mira. What are you going to say there? The itmar. We learned. Kitzuso pliga barabach ravina chadoma kitzuso shayir v'chadoma kitzuso asir. It's a machlekes that kitzuso works in order to take away the ribis. What's the case of kitzuso? So what's kitzuso? The more I was going to bring two explanations. One explanation is 5 years I'm eating it, not paying anything. From here on, whenever I eat, I'm going to pay you. Right? 5 years, I'm not paying. I'm going to just eat the fruits. After 5 years, whatever I eat, I pay you. So why is that going to be fine? So the reason why it's going to be fine is because the way you look at it is, 5 years he took it like a sharecropper. He's taking the land, is working the land. And then he has to give it back. So it's considered to be like a new sale. It's not considered to be that he's taking ribbis on the loan. Took it for 5 years. After 5 years, he's going to start paying all the fruits that he eats. So for 5 years, he has like a time limit where the land is his for these 5 years. Ikedarme. So you need to pay something. So what's kitzuso? For 5 years, you pay something for the fruits. I'm sure you're paying less than the original achiosa. So we said before, $10, $5 for the fruits. From here on, I pay you all the fruits. So the Kitziyoso says that I am going to pay you for the fruits, but not immediately. I have some time where I can enjoy it. So that's considered to be less of an idea of ribis. Why is less than the ribis? Because it's not that I can just eat any fruits I want, and it's also not a set amount I'm paying you for the years. I'm going to pay you for the fruits. It's just a certain amount of time where I can enjoy it. It looks more like an idea of a sharecropper taking the land and enjoying the land. That's how you should explain it. That's why it should be okay. Right? So right, for 5 years he has it, takes it away, and then that becomes his. So that's what the Gemara says over here that the Timichok can do if your old kitzutz is mutter. So says the Gemara, so first of all, Mando also become so the one who says in the first case you can't do Shor Basrai, so you're paying for something for the fruits in the first 5 years. Mando also Basrai, so you can't do Heichi Shor Lamechel. So what are you going to do? So what is the solution to Timichokim who wants to go and do it? Says the Gemara, Heichi Shor Lamechel, Shori ki mashkanto the suro. Talk about it like they do in surah. It's called mashkanto the surah. What's the case of surah? Meaning what they do is they deduct the loan from the usage of the land. The lender gives $1,000 to the borrower. The borrower gives the land to the lender. It says, you know what? You use it for 6 years. 6 years, I get it back. Right? It's like a mortgage. The fact that you're able to use the land for 6 years, that is a payment of the loan. So it's not that I'm paying you the loan plus ribis. Whatever you use, that works towards the loan. Even if it's not the exact same value, but here you don't pay any money back, that's why this will be good, even according to our time of Chacham. Now, and when we talk about these cases, just to mention, we're talking here specifically to Lashon Rashi. Rashi learns, right, based on what we mentioned also in the beginning earlier, is that, and the Rashi we mentioned before, to put that very, very strongly. This is talking about a case where you could kick him out. The borrower has the ability to kick out the lender. So we're saying the borrower can kick out the lender, what should you do with the fruits? So we have here these different options what to do. So he says like this. If we talk about a case that you cannot kick him out, that's not ribis. Why? Because the borrower can never kick him out. So really the seller, this is considered to be a new transaction. The seller takes the land, stays with the land. The borrower can never kick him out. If the seller decides to give it back to the borrower, it's a new transaction, a new sale. No ribis over here. It's not a loan. The only issue that we have is that the borrower can kick him out. So then it becomes a loan. You give me money, I can give you back the money wherever I want. Now a loan, what do I do with the fruits? Right? Now, if you have nachioso, meaning you have that discount, so really it's okay, except for Tebechach. And all of this is talking about, going back to the Rashi mentioned before, talking about a vineyard and a field, which sometimes the fruits grow, sometimes the fruits don't grow. So not necessarily is going to get a benefit. But we talk about a chotzer, we talk about a house, so then then you can't say that then there's a real problem of a ribis ktsutzo that we mentioned earlier. So it comes out that that's a Rashi runs. Now, just to mention it, without going into it, the Sifter brings you a nice summary. There's 8 shittas in the Rishonim. When is a problem? When is it not a problem? Issue, no issue. It's different variations of Rashi. We're sticking here to Rashi. So let's take Rashi because many of the details goes to all the Rishonim. If you're talking about that you can't pay back, no ribis. If you can pay it back, is ribis only if there's no nachioso. But if there's nachioso, means you're discounting the loan with a certain amount. It's not a ribis except for a tzur in the rabbanon, and that's all by a vineyard in a field, not by a house. Okay. Says the Gemara, Republic of Amuna with Yeshua, Ami Tavara, they both said the following. Hai Mashkanto, in this collateral, Be'after the Misalke, a place where they kick out the bar can kick out the lender, Ein Ba'achlev Gorei Mena. So the lender cannot go and take it. Right? Can't take it. We'll talk about the fruits. Unless without Nachiyos, as Rashi says, can't take it. I'm correction of the last sentence. I apologize. Got a little confusing with the previous sentence. Let's go back. Hai mashkanto v's'amasu misalki. A mashkanto in a place where the lender, where the bar can kick away the lender. Ein ba'achlev gorei mena, ba'achlev cannot take from it. When? So Rashi explained, talk about, if you look at Losh Rashi, imei samalve v'noflu lifnei bonov. The lender died, and his kids have it. So the Baal Choiv cannot take it away from them. Why? Because it's considered to be metaltale be'alma. The fact that the borrower can always take it back means what they have only usage in it. And that usage is considered to be metaltale. It's not considered to be karka. The lender doesn't own the land. The lender is only owning what? The lender only owns the usage of the karka. And because when he's alive, a lender of the lender can take away it because he's taking away metaltale. But once he dies, he's saying don't pay metaltale. They pay only a land. That's why also the Bechor doesn't inherit double, because it's not considered to be belong to the father. So it's considered to be only a loan. And the shviz is considered to be meshametes. Rashi says what? Kishar milu b'shtar shenichsei loy v'mishubodim lehem. V'shir shvad deins and mil b'ala mashkrin. It's not considered to be mil b'ala mashkrin. Why? Because mashkrin is something that you can hold on to. But here the borrowers can take it back. Meaning, if the borrower can kick out the lender, so it's not really considered that the lender owns the land. So therefore, another lender cannot take it. Therefore, if he dies, therefore the court doesn't inherit it. And therefore, it's not considered to be something that Shemitah doesn't take away. But if a place the borrower cannot pay back, the Baal Choiv could extract it. The Bechor takes double. The tree is not considered to be a mashkon. In other words, when the borrower has the option to take it, it's not really a land. When you could take him out, meaning when the borrower comes and takes him, he takes away the land, takes away the fruits. Even the dates, they're out of the trees and they are on mats waiting to be dried out. But if the lender who was holding on to the land before the borrower came, he took these dates and he picked them up in his kelim, karim. The holds even without picking up a vessel of any buyer, even if it's in the land of the seller. If he didn't pick it up, didn't do agba is koine. In other words, the bar can come take it back, takes back all the fruits, even the fruits that are cut out and on the mats, as long as they're unless the lender already picked them up and he was koine them before the borrower took it. Continues the word, it says, Pshito, if it's a place where usually the borrower usually can kick out the lender. But here, when he did the loan, the lender says, you can't kick me out. I'm taking the mashkin staying with it. So that was the deal. You can't kick him out. In case the usually borrower cannot kick out the lender. But here they agreed the borrower could kick him out. Does that deal work based on words only? Or do you have to do a kinyan to make this happen? Or not? You don't have to do kinyan. Because that's how the loan was started. You don't have to do kinyan. Because if people don't do it, because that considered to be that's how the loan was done, you want to do something different, you have to make a special kinyan. The halacha is you do have to do a kinyan to change from the derech of this place. If the borrower comes to the lender and says, okay, I'm able to take away the land, please stop whatever you're doing in my field. Stop. I'm going to get my money. 5 minutes, I'll get it to you. So the lender should not eat the fruits anymore, because he's basically announcing this is over. But if he said, if he says, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to work hard to get the money. Let me go. I'm going to go now. It doesn't say I have the money. I'm going to go. I'm going to sell some stuff. I'll get some stuff, meaning the money is not available. So then he can continue eating. He has to stop. As if the bar told him, the deal is, right now, I'm taking away my land. He cannot eat, because once he announced it, from here on, it's considered to be that he is giving it back, and whatever he eats right now becomes a ribis. The truth is that the Rishonim discussed, is it a ribis or is it a din of mechilo? So not necessarily it's ribis. Says the Gemara, what I didn't eat with the nachios we mentioned before, that you discount the loan for some value in order to eat the fruits. Ravino did eat nachios. So to ask over here, what's it? Ravino is a tamechacham, and we said tamechacham should not eat it. So Ravino did not consider himself to be a tamechacham. And this opens up an interesting discussion. Can a person say, I'm not a tamechacham, even a person like Ravino? Why the person eat nachios? He says, what do you rely on to say this it's okay, and it takes away the problem of ribis? You're giving a fixed amount. You're not actually paying for the fruits, whatever you're eating. So that's how it works in Zdeh Chuzah in the Torah. What's a Zdeh Chuzah? Zdeh Chuzah is that when you go and you give a soda, you magdish a soda to hegdish, you redeem it for the value of a sela plus per year. It's 50 for 49 years, so it comes out to be 1 1/150th to redeem it. Now, how much fruits does a guy take when you have a soda mikveh? He eats as many fruits as he wants. Whatever you want, you redeem it. So you have a fixed amount to redeem it. The fixed amount is connected to fruits. So now, who's allowed to have the koch pay too, even though he's got a lot of fruits? Oh my, when I want to say the Torah said there's some chesed on top. Kapari klei be'arbo zuzah. You redeem it with arbo zuzah. That's one selah. The Torah says you can redeem it with a selah. It's really a selah pudrin. It's a selah in 1/50th. Hachinami lishna. So here, I give you a fixed amount that you can eat the fruits. When this Oisa says, it's really a hegdish. Meaning it doesn't, that's not really yours. The Torah, you made an hegdish, it's not yours. The Torah says you can redeem it. So that's not really returning the loan that you gave. But here, it's a loan. A person can give money to his friend. He takes the land and now he eats the fruits. So yeah, you give a fixed amount. The fixed amount is not the amount he's eating. He's eating more than the fixed amount. So therefore, that is not good enough. So do you rely on nechios or you don't rely on nechios? So depends. The real question is a fixed amount good enough to solve the problem of ribis? This is a difficult daf, very difficult. Talk about nechiosa, new musagim, we need to understand what it is. But at least we understood the ma'alach of the Gemara in the cases of nechiosa. We'll continue Be'ez Hashem hopefully tonight with the next daf.